Want to learn tips and tricks on how to grow this beautiful hydrangea tree in a potted standard form, as well as growing season, winterizing, and repotting for the next season? Stick around and I'll show you how. My obsession with these trees started last summer when I had enough rewards bucks from Menards to purchase 4 Hydrangea Standard trees. Here you see 2 of each. I have 2 Menards versions that look like Pinky Winky and Limelight from Proven Winners. If they're not exactly the same tree, they are a close twin. And best of all, I got all 4 trees for $60 each. Can't beat that. I potted them in 30-inch round flower pots. These are double-walled flower pots, plastic, nothing fancy. And then I used Miracle-Gro potting soil and Biotone starter fertilizer at the beginning of April. By mid-April, they're starting to leaf out, and you'll also notice how I'm trying to get creative on keeping my pots and trees in the pots straight with wires. These wires are coated with a rubber, so I wasn't worried about it hurting the plant. I'm in Ohio, Zone 6B, and usually mid to late May is our planting season. But the forecast was great during last summer, and I went ahead and I planted Supertunia, Bermuda Beach, and a Super Cow. Now these Supertunias can withstand lower light, so around 4+ hours. And that's about what we get in this backyard. So I wanted to see if I could grow them, and I was quite successful. This is the beginning of May. These pictures are at the beginning of June. And finally, mid-June, and look at the blossoms. These are budding up and ready to burst. I'm so excited. And take a look at those giant impatiens on my balcony. Everything just blended so beautifully together. I have a separate video on how to make those giant impatiens if you're interested. By the 3rd week in June, they're starting to bloom, and take a look at those beautiful Proven Winners Supertunias. Also take note of the extra rubber-coated wire that I've been adding to hold these pots in place during the big storms. I'll go into detail on how they're attached in the repotting version for this summer. This is the 1st week in July, and boy, they're not disappointing at all. This one's the one that reminds me of Limelight, and this one is the one that reminds me of the Pinky Winky Proven Winners versions. I just had to show you this backyard view. Look at those impatiens. And this is the view from the very back side of the house. Now we're entering the 3rd week in July, and you're starting to see a little pink show. And take a look at those Supertunias. Ugh, the Proven Winners brand just outperforms any other brand that I know. I love, love, love them. And I also use Proven Winners plant food once a week on them, the water-soluble kind. This is the 2nd week of August, and near the end of August. In late September, early October, I moved them to the side of my porch, and I put wrought iron chairs in front of them. At that time, they still have their blooms and leaves on them, but over the winter, they lose them. And then in early March of the new season, I trim them down to this size. And this way, they get water all winter. By mid-April, we're starting to see those beautiful little leaf buds starting to form, and I am so excited for the new season. Now we're going into May, and we have beautiful leaf structure, And I took one extra step this year. I purchased this green plastic fencing from Lowe's, and I cut it into sections and formed it around the tree like this and fastened it with zip ties, hoping that as the tree leaves grow up and through the grid system, it'll help hold up those heavy blooms, because this particular tree drooped quite a bit last summer. Uh-oh, mid-May hit and I had an accident. I missed a couple steps in my garage and dislocated my elbow, cracked it in 2 spots, as well as my wrist. So a total of 3 fractures in my arm, and all I could think of was, how am I ever going to plant all of my flowers this year? My kids and grandkids came to my rescue. Here, my son-in-law is power washing the back area under the balcony where these beautiful hydrangea trees sit. And he's doing the walls, the concrete, and notice that he put the hydrangea trees back in their spots. What would I do without them? My granddaughter is even helping me make this video for all of you today. So we have hydrangea trees all along the back of the balcony, all the way down. And this gets about 4 hours of sun a day. This year I'm going to try Hoopla Vivid Orchid. Supertunia Vista, or no, it's not a Vista. Supertunia Hoopla Vivid Orchid. So right now, Nevaeh has a fresh compost here. And we are going to go ahead and put our flowers. She put the flowers, she arranged them. I have 6 in this pot. And she's going to take the flower out of the pot and put the pot back in as a placeholder. In order for this tree not to blow down, there's a bamboo stake up the center. And then I have these soft wires coming down into the pot. It twists into the pot. And then I also have this bungee cord that goes around my post so that these pots do not tip over. I would like to have concrete pots, but if I get concrete pots, then I can't move them. And I like to overwinter these closer to the back patio so that they're not in the direct elements out, because we get really harsh winters here and it blows in this direction. So I protect them in the winter. So we took the flowers out of the pot and we put the empty pot inside the big pot here. And we're going to fill dirt around these pots.
Makes it so the dirt indents and it creates like an area where we can just set the pot into it.
Yep. So take your pots out and see the indents that are left. I don't know if you can see it here. Just makes it real easy to pop the other ones right in.
A lot easier than trying to mess around in the dirt.
She just pops it right in the hole. Those are pretty. My son-in-law plants it a little different. So now you're pulling it out and there's a divot there. And you put biotone in. Those are going to be pretty when they grow out. Did you pull up the drip system?
It's hanging right here.
Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to put fresh dirt on the bottom. So I put a little, that's why I put a little bit of dirt on and then set these in place.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
So you've got that fresh, moist dirt to help those roots spread out.
That makes sense.
I said I have my moments.
Nevaeh's down there planting. I have all kinds of help. I'm blessed. And you'll notice those wires are loose right now, but that's just because we haven't, attached everything down yet, nice and solid. But that'll come in time. We just are anxious to get the plants in and the drip system started. And tomorrow's Mother's Day. So this is a nice Mother's Day gift that they're giving me. And those are the clips that he's got. He's putting those clips back in to hold the drip system down. Now this drip system, see the black pipe right up there? This is from the base of my house. It goes all the way around because my house is 2-story in the back and single-story in the front. So this drip system just went all the way around, and then down each post we went with white dripping. That's a white liter tube that's coming down. And then it goes into the pot, and then the every 6-inch holes. So this liter tube does not have a hole, and this has holes every 6 inches. And here we are 1 week later. Now we just had a big rain here, that's why this is all wet. But you can see here, I am not using a plant stand of any type. And that is also to help it prevent from tipping over. However, last year, I'm not so sure that's what was part of the cause from it tipping over. But I did notice that as the tree grows throughout the summer, the weight of this pot as it grows throughout the summer, because it gets pretty big. Even though it's a wrought iron stand with wheels, the wheels start to bend, and then my plant becomes lopsided. And it was a pretty heavy duty cast iron plant stand. I thought for sure it would last throughout the summer, and it did not. So this year I'm just putting it on the concrete and wishing for the best. I might have to scrub my concrete at the end of the season, but that's okay. It's hard to see my ferns up there on the balcony. I think I've told you this in the past. I usually have giant impatiens growing on my railing. This year I couldn't do it due to a broken arm. So I have hanging Austin ferns. I think they're going to be beautiful when they come into their glory. It's still a little cool here in Ohio 6B. But take a look. We're still mid-May, and look how healthy. This is a hydrangea tree in a pot with Hoopla Vivid Orchid at the bottom. Nice and healthy. This is another hydrangea tree. As I said in the past, this tree droops very much. Not just a little droop, but a lot. And so I have a grid system in it. And I'm watching them grow through the grid system, and we will see if that helps support the big, huge blossoms that this one gets. It's amazing. And what's interesting is that they're actually open and airy blossoms, but it's still, the limbs on this particular hydrangea tree are a little thinner, I think, and they droop easily. A little droop never bothers me, but a big droop to where they like touch the ground type droop, that does. So let's see what this grid system does. It's a test. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow along this summer and watch these beauties grow.